Guys, welcome back to another video. Today's video is going to be a sit down video. As you can see, I have not done a sit down video in a while. This is probably like the second or third that I've done since we moved here. I'm in my office, so it may be a little bit echoey. So that's why I'm wearing the mic. So hopefully that helps. But today I wanted to sit down and talk to you guys about things that we don't do since moving to Spain. If you're new here and it's your first time clicking on this video, thank you for clicking on the video, first of all. And also, if you are returning, thank you so much for also clicking on this video. But my family of five and I just moved here over the summer. We moved from Florida. We were living in Orlando. I was working there as a flight attendant. I'm still a flight attendant, in case you're wondering. I'm just on leave right now. But we decided to leave everything and move to Spain. We do have family here, so that's why it's a little bit more easy for us to stay here and transition. But I have plenty of videos talking about why we decided to move to Spain and just sharing the process of it all, the move and everything. So if you want to go take a look at those, they're in my channel. Since moving to Spain, our lives have completely changed. Obviously, we moved from Florida to a whole new different continent, a whole new different country. So I wanted to share some of the things that we don't do since moving here, because obviously things are different here. So let's start with the first thing. And the first thing is that we don't rely on a car anymore. So I grew up in California where I was able to get in a car and go anywhere on a car, but there was also public transportation. Growing up, I actually had to rely a lot on the public transportation in LA. But once I got a car, there was no way I was going to be riding the bus and the metro everywhere. To me, public transportation isn't anything new. However, walking everywhere is. And we walk everywhere here. When we moved from California, we moved to Texas, and then Florida. Everything is spread out. You need to have a car. Driving 20 minutes to go to the grocery store is not unheard of there. So you heavily rely on a car. Here, we walk to the store, we walk to school, we walk to church, or we take the bus. So that is something that we have had to change and get used to, which is not relying on a car. For my middle child, it was kind of an adjustment because he does not like to walk anywhere. So he had to get used to that. And it was a little bit of a struggle at first, but now he's used to it. Now he gets on the bus when we pick him up from school. He knows where to sit, he knows where to stand, where to grab on, and everything. He knows my bus card. So we've definitely adjusted to that now, but relying on a car was definitely one of the bigger things that we had to get used to. Going to the grocery store looks completely different for us now. First of all, I go in my little granny cart. I take my little granny cart with me and I walk to the store. And instead of shopping for the next week and a half or so, I am shopping for the next 3 to 4 days at most. And in the United States, I was able to go to Trader Joe's, Publix, Costco, wherever, and buy for the next 2 weeks. And here, I'm not able to do so because the portions are a lot smaller. So we run out of food faster. And I have 3 growing boys. So if you have growing kids, you know how much they eat, especially when they get to that fruit eating stage. They can definitely eat a lot. So I'm having to constantly go to the store, and here it's very common to see people buying food for the day of as well. So it's not very common to see people with like full carts of food like you would in the US. So anytime that I have a somewhat full looking cart, I do get stares, definitely. And I get so anxious when I'm checking out because we have to bag our own food here. There's no one there bagging your food, and you have to bring your own bags or you have to pay for the bags here. So I'm like constant, if I have a lot of food, I'm just like trying to race with the cashier hoping I get finished before it's time for me to pay, but I get so much anxiety. And we also have to keep in mind that if we do end up buying a lot, we have to walk back with it, or we have to carry it with us on the bus or on the train, or depending on wherever we go. Having that little cart that I never thought I would ever have, the little granny cart, definitely helps. The next one is probably going to be very obvious, but obviously we moved to Spain and we moved from the US where people mostly speak English. We moved to Spain where everybody speaks Spanish, especially where we live. Not only do they speak Spanish, they also speak Valenciano because we live in the Valencian community. So in school, my kids are learning Valenciano as well. If anything, their school is primarily in Valenciano, so they're learning a lot of that. However, for my oldest, it's not like that. His school is mostly in Spanish, and a lot of the times I do find myself having to help him with his homework or having to help him with talking to teachers and stuff like that. And sometimes I do find myself getting tongue-tied with the Spanish that I learned. I was born in El Salvador, if you didn't know. My first language is Spanish. I grew up speaking Spanish at home. However, if you've ever been to Spain and you speak Spanish and you come from Latin America, you know that the Spanish is completely different. And sometimes you can feel a little bit lost and even question your Spanish at some point. But this is why I'm very excited to share with you a tool that I have talked about before. It is Lingoda. So Lingoda is a language learning program that allows you to learn a different language. You can learn English, business English, French, German, Spanish, and now even Italian. And I'm really excited to be partnering up with them once again, especially during this time, because they are having the biggest sale where you can get up to 50% off your classes. So you can take a group class, you can take a private class, whatever is more convenient for you at whatever time is more convenient for you. You're able to go schedule the class, filter according to your needs, and you're able to see which class is best for you. You're actually doing this with real life teachers as well. So you're not talking to like a computer or anything. It's an actual teacher that you get to have a lesson with. So they'll be able to correct you if you mispronounce something. They'll be able to give you real life scenarios so that you're able to use these words and these phrases in real life situations. And I've been able to attend these interactive classes, and I can definitely say that they are very, very helpful. And it also helps to see other people attend that class and see where they're at and their level. So that's why it's good that you have the option to have either a group class or a private class. Lingoda is also aware that everybody learns differently. So you're able to take their flexible classes, or you're able to take the 3 different learning paths that they have, that whatever's going to work for you. So again, not everybody learns the same way. Some people are visual, some people are fast learners. Everybody learns differently. So if you were curious about Lingoda the last time I talked about them and you just didn't jump on it, this is definitely the time to do so, because it's the biggest sale of the year. You can get up to 50% off using the code Wonderfully50. And when you get the 7-day trial, you're able to attend 3 group classes or 1 private class. So make sure to check out the description box down below. That way you're able to take advantage of Lingoda during their biggest sale yet. And thank you so much to Lingoda for sponsoring a portion of this video. The next one is we don't rely on a dryer anymore. And this one was a big one for me because growing up, I had a washer, a dryer, and I never had to worry about line drying my clothes, hang drying my clothes. And I only did it if I had to, right? But now I have a dryer and a washer in the apartment that we had. The apartment we have came fully furnished. So thankfully we didn't have to buy appliances, furniture, or anything like that. So it came with a washer and a dryer. However, I don't know how to use the dryer because it's a condensed dryer. So there's like a way to use it. I have to look at videos on how to use it. But also, it's not as strong as the ones that we're used to, and it's a lot smaller, so it takes forever for your clothes to dry, and you have to do like multiple cycles, so that one gets expensive, and I don't have time for that. I'd rather just hang the clothes dry. We have a little section like in between the buildings, so you're not able to see it from the outside, which I think is really nice. And you just go and you hang up your clothes. You have the ropes there, and I have my clothes drying there now. The only time that it's really unfortunate is like last night. It rained overnight and I had clothes drying. So everything that was pretty much almost dry was soaked this morning. So now it has to dry again, possibly wash again. That's one of the downsides of having to hang dry our clothes, but that's been something that's very different. I actually prefer to hang dry my clothes at this point because it does dry faster when it doesn't rain overnight. It's also good for your clothes, it's better for your clothes, and your electricity bill isn't as high. Another one that's been a little different to get used to is that in the rare occasion that we go out to eat, we don't really go out to eat here anymore. I feel like I'm constantly cooking, which that alone could be a different thing that we do differently here. But I can definitely do a part 2 if you guys want, and I can share more things that have changed since we moved here. In the rare occasion that we do go out to eat, I have noticed that people are not rushed to go anywhere. Like if you sit down to eat, you can sit down and enjoy your time. You're not constantly being pushed by your server with the check and pressured to leave. Because sometimes in the United States, you're not even close to finishing your food and they're already like, here's your check. No, here you go out to eat with someone and you actually get to sit there and talk and conversate and have quality time with each other. So it's very normal for a dinner outing to last like 2 to 3 hours with someone because you're just talking the entire time. And yes, you can eat, maybe you can have a drink, you can have a few tapas here and there. I have found that so different because I did make a friend. I don't know if you guys watched that video, but I did make a friend and I went out with her and we went out to eat to this little place. And as soon as I was done with my food, I was like, where's the server? I'm like, oh, wait, they don't do that here. So it's definitely something I've had to get used to. But it's nice. I actually really like it because you do get to really enjoy the time that you're out and take time with people. Now, when you go out with kids, that's a little bit different because my kids are not used to that yet. Yeah, that is pretty much it. A lot has changed, like I said. I do find ourselves trying to get really in touch with the culture here, but also not forgetting our roots and our cultures. We're definitely learning, we're trying, we'll get it eventually. So, yeah, that is it for this video. I hope you guys were able to enjoy this video. Let me know if you guys want to see more videos like this where I talk about how life has changed and pros, cons, different things. I feel like the list goes on with the amount of things that we can sit down and talk about living in Spain. So let me know. I would love to hear your thoughts. I'm going to end this video here. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to check out the description box down below so you can check out Lingoda. And make sure you're following me over on social media, and I will see you guys in my next video.